I dump your ass.
She ghosted you. No warning, no explanation, just silence. One day, you were her everything. The next, just another name she scrolls past. That kind of disappearance doesn't just confuse you, it rewires your brain. You start replaying every laugh, every text, every night you thought meant something, searching for the moment it all began to fade. But here's the truth she'll never tell you. Her ghosting isn't about your worth. It's about her weakness. She couldn't face what she lost, so she ran. And that's where your power begins. What if, instead of chasing closure or begging for attention, you used her silence as fuel? What if you turned to the timeless philosophy of Stoicism, not to win her back, but to win yourself? Because this isn't revenge, it's rebirth. It's about crafting a life so calm, so disciplined, and so undeniably magnetic that her decision to leave becomes the one moment she'll replay forever. Imagine her watching from afar, seeing you thrive, succeed, and move in silence, not because you wanted to hurt her, but because you finally remembered who you are. This is how you turn rejection into resilience, silence into strength, and heartbreak into your most powerful rebirth. Before we dive in, do one small but powerful act. Like this video if it hits something real inside you. Comment your story below. Your truth could help someone else heal. Share this with someone who needs to reclaim their peace. And subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to help you rebuild stronger, quieter, and wiser than ever before. Don't skip a single moment of what's coming next, because one idea here might change the way you carry yourself forever. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the power of silence, how your absence becomes your loudest statement. Ghosting is a coward's exit, the emotional equivalent of slipping out the back door instead of facing a conversation. Psychologically, it's rooted in avoidance attachment. The ghoster fears conflict, emotional labor, or even their own guilt. By disappearing, they sidestep accountability, leaving you with confusion and rejection. But here's the twist. Silence is a mirror. When you stop chasing her, no texts, no social media stalking, no accidental likes, you force her to confront the void she created. Psychologists call this reverse ghosting, and it's one of the most powerful responses you can have. Humans are wired to notice absence. When you vanish from her emotional radar, her brain starts to whisper, "Wait, why isn't he reacting? Did I lose something valuable?" This isn't about playing games, it's about reclaiming your agency. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate. By accepting her ghosting and responding with silence, you're not just moving on, you're making a declaration. I respect myself too much to beg for scraps of attention. Now, here's where psychology makes it interesting. When she ghosted you, she justified it to herself. He wasn't right for me, or I'll find someone better. But when you respond with nothing, no anger, no desperation, her mind hits resistance. Cognitive dissonance sets in, the clash between "I didn't need him" and "why isn't he chasing me?" People value what they perceive as scarce. When you withdraw your energy, you instantly become that scarce resource. Your silence forces her to face the consequences of her own choice, not because you're manipulating her, but because you've stepped back and allowed truth to do the talking. Epictetus once said, "Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life." Modern psychology agrees. The less you react, the more mysterious you become. This is known as the mystery effect. People are drawn to what they can't fully understand or control. So how do you master this kind of silence? It starts with the 30-day blackout rule. No contact, no exceptions. Delete her number if you have to. Research shows it takes roughly a month to break a habit, and that includes the habit of checking her social media or waiting for her name to appear on your screen. If friends ask about her, just say you're focusing on yourself right now. That statement alone reclaims your narrative. Next, cleanse your social media. Mute or unfollow her, not out of spite, but out of self-preservation. Post for you, not for her. Share your wins, your progress, your life, but not as bait for her attention. You're no longer performing, you're simply living. And if she does reach out after weeks of silence, practice what's known as the grey rock method. Be calm, polite, and completely unbothered. If she texts, "Hey, long time no talk," you simply respond, "Hey, hope you're doing well," no questions, no enthusiasm. That subtle restraint communicates more power than any emotional speech ever could. Here's why it works. For you, silence rebuilds self-respect. Every day you don't reach out, you're proving that your peace doesn't depend on anyone else's attention. For her, your absence becomes a psychological itch. She starts replaying memories, wondering if she made a mistake. That's where regret begins to grow. Right now, she might think she holds the power. But real power isn't in chasing, it's in walking away. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your revenge, becoming the person she wishes she'd treated better. Number 2, accept the reality without resistance, the Stoic art of letting go. When she ghosted you, your mind didn't just feel confusion, it experienced a neurological hijacking. Your brain had grown used to the dopamine hits from her attention, the texts, the laughs, the shared moments. Then suddenly, it's gone. That absence feels like ripping off a band-aid. Your reward system goes into withdrawal, leaving you craving closure like an addict craving a fix. Studies show that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain, the anterior cingulate cortex. That's why ghosting hurts so much. Your brain is literally processing it as emotional trauma. Then comes the what-if loop. Your mind replays every interaction, desperate for clues. Did I say something wrong? Was I not enough? This is your brain's negativity bias at work, over-focusing on threats that don't even exist anymore. As Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Your brain distorts reality to protect you, but in doing so, it keeps you stuck. Next, the illusion of control sets in. You convince yourself that one more text might fix everything, that maybe she'll respond, but that's your brain grasping for agency in a place where you have none. The hard truth is this: she chose silence, and no amount of chasing will change that. The only control you truly have is over your response. The longer you resist accepting what happened, the longer you feed the pain loop. Your brain keeps searching for solutions that don't exist, draining your energy and your self-worth. Now here's where Stoicism steps in. The practice of negative visualization isn't about dwelling on pain. It's about rewiring your relationship with fear. Write down the worst-case scenario. She never speaks to me again. She moves on. I never get closure. Doing this activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain that overrides emotional panic. By facing the worst, you reduce its power over you. Then ask yourself, can I survive this? The answer is always yes. You've survived every worst day you've ever had. Neuroscience backs this up. Writing it down engages your brain's self-authoring network, helping you process the pain as a story, not a life sentence. Now, flip the script. Instead of asking, why did she leave? Ask, what if this pain is pushing me toward someone who chooses me every day? What if her ghosting is the universe's way of saving me from a relationship that would have drained me? Research shows that people who reframe pain as a catalyst for change experience greater long-term happiness than those who stay trapped in victimhood. Close your eyes. Picture yourself 1 year from now, stronger, happier, indifferent to her ghosting. What does that version of you look like? What did he let go of? This simple exercise activates your brain's prospective memory, making that future feel real and pushing you to start living it now. Here's the quiet truth. Indifference isn't coldness, it's emotional sovereignty. The more you need her to respond, the more desperation energy you emit, and desperation repels what you want most. As Seneca said, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. When you scatter your emotional energy chasing her, you dilute your power. Indifference concentrates it. When you stop seeking her validation, something strange happens. The Ben Franklin effect reverses. She starts to wonder why you aren't chasing her. You're no longer performing to be liked. You're growing, thriving, and that naturally draws curiosity. If she ghosted you expecting a reaction, your silence creates cognitive dissonance. Her brain starts to whisper, "Why isn't he upset? Did I make a mistake?" Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your best revenge is becoming the person she wishes she'd treated better. So, what do you do now? You reclaim your power. Start with a digital detox. Delete or archive her messages, not to erase her, but to declare, "I refuse to let my peace depend on someone else's silence." Each time you see her name, your brain relives the pain. Remove the trigger and healing accelerates. Then reframe control. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, "I need to know why," replace it with, "I choose to focus on what I can control. My response, my growth, my happiness." That single shift moves you from a victim mindset to an agent mindset, a proven boost to resilience and problem solving. Finally, make indifference a ritual. Spend 5 minutes a day visualizing yourself completely unaffected by her ghosting. Feel the calm, feel the confidence. Visualization activates the same brain regions as real experiences. It's emotional strength training. When you accept reality instead of resisting it, you stop feeding the pain loop. You activate your rational brain over your emotional one. You become the prize, not because you're playing games, but because you're genuinely unstoppable. She ghosted you because she couldn't handle the weight of your presence. Now, imagine her watching from afar as you walk away, not in anger, but in quiet confidence. That's not revenge. That's transcendence. Number 3, the art of radical self-improvement, becoming the man she wishes she hadn't lost. When someone ghosts you, it's easy to spiral into, "What's wrong with me?" But here's the truth. Her ghosting wasn't a verdict on your worth. It was a revelation of her limitations. The real question isn't, "Why did she leave?" It's, "What am I going to do now?" Psychologists call this the growth mindset, the belief that every setback is an opportunity to evolve. The Stoics took it even further. Obstacles aren't just to be overcome, they're to be used as fuel. This moment, right now, is your chance to turn pain into purpose. The path forward begins with radical self-improvement. 3 key transformations that will make her regret losing you without you ever having to say a word. First, your physical transformation. Exercise doesn't just sculpt your body, it rewires your brain for confidence. When you lift, run, or push through the discomfort, your body releases testosterone and reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. You start standing taller, moving with intention, radiating calm power. Upgrade your style. Get a haircut that sharpens your look. Dress like the man who respects himself. Even posture alone changes perception. Research shows good posture increases confidence and attractiveness. Take a photo today, then again in 30 days. You won't believe the difference. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Your body is the first domain to conquer. Next comes emotional mastery, the quiet strength that makes indifference your superpower. Ghosting leaves emotional wounds, but avoiding them only keeps you trapped. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining the worst so they could face it without fear. You can do the same. Journal every day. Ask yourself, what did her ghosting teach me? What weakness did it expose? Maybe you'll realize you relied too much on external validation. Then meditate. 10 minutes of silence each day. Focus on your breath and watch your emotions lose their grip. And when the pain creeps back in, ask yourself the 5-year question. Will this matter in 5 years? If not, release it. Psychologists call this cognitive reframing, changing how you interpret what happened. Instead of, she hurt me, think, she showed me where I needed to grow. Detachment isn't coldness, it's freedom. When you stop living for her approval, you start living for your own. Finally, there's social dominance, not dominance over others, but mastery over your social world. People are drawn to those who don't need them. Rebuild your circle. Reconnect with old friends you've neglected. Send that text. Plan that meetup. Laugh again. Then expand. Join a new club. Take a class. Try something unfamiliar. When you're out, keep your phone in your pocket. Presence is confidence, and confidence is magnetic. As Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surround yourself with those who elevate your spirit, not those who drain it. And here's where everything shifts. People don't regret losing you. They regret losing the potential of who you became. When she sees you thriving, physically sharp, emotionally grounded, socially alive, her brain starts whispering doubts. Did I make a mistake? Why is he happier without me? What if I can't find someone like him again? This isn't about rubbing it in her face. It's about living so well that her ghosting becomes the biggest mistake she ever made. So take on the 90-day challenge. 90 days of radical self-improvement. Your body, your mind, your social life. Track your progress. And when that time comes, ask yourself, do I even care about her anymore? If you've done the work, the answer will be no, and that's your real victory. Number 4, the art of strategic indifference, how to handle mutual friends, social media, and accidental run-ins. When she ghosted you, she expected one of 2 reactions, either desperation, where you'd chase her and beg for closure, or anger, where you'd badmouth her and try to get even. But there's a third option, the one that leaves a mark far deeper than either of those ever could: strategic indifference. This isn't about pretending she doesn't exist. It's about acting as if her ghosting never shook you. Psychologically, that's devastating to her ego because it forces her to wonder, did I even matter to him at all? Research in social psychology shows that people crave validation most from those they've wronged. So when you deny her that validation, when you don't react, don't reach out, and don't crumble, her mind fills the silence with questions. Why isn't he upset? Did he move on that easily? That's when regret begins to take root. At some point, a mutual friend might ask, "Hey, have you talked to her lately?" Or, "She asked about you." This is a trap, not out of malice, but because it tempts you to break your composure. Don't take the bait. Don't badmouth her. It makes you look bitter. Don't ask for updates. It makes you look desperate. And don't play the victim. It makes you look weak. Instead, take the Stoic route. Smile and say, "We're not really in touch anymore, but I hope she's doing well." Then move on. That simple calmness tells everyone around you that you're unbothered, and that message will reach her faster than any text ever could. Mutual friends will start saying, "He's doing great without you," and mystery will begin to work its quiet magic. The less you say, the more she'll wonder. Never post for her, but always post as if she's watching. Don't post breakup quotes, sad lyrics, or heartbreak memes. They only expose your pain. Don't like her posts or watch her stories. That's digital desperation. Instead, use social media as a reflection of your growth. Share your wins, a gym session, a new hobby, a trip with friends, but keep it elegant. Quiet confidence always speaks louder than a highlight reel. If she posts, don't react. If she stories something, don't view it. Your silence is your statement. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if it's wrong." Her opinion doesn't define you. Here's the psychology. People assume your online presence mirrors your real life. If your posts radiate calm progress, she'll believe you're thriving. That triggers the FOMO effect, the fear of missing out. She'll start asking herself, what if I let go of someone amazing? One day you might see her again, a coffee shop, a party, maybe a random event. Here's your play. Don't avoid her, but don't seek her out either. If your eyes meet, give a natural smile, nothing forced, just a calm acknowledgement. Say, "Hey, how have you been?" and keep it short. Then excuse yourself with a simple, "Great seeing you, I've got to catch up with a friend," and walk away. That moment, your poise, your control, your calm energy will stay with her. Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." If emotion rises, breathe, pause, and let your composure speak for you. Your calmness becomes your quiet power. By being polite but distant, you control the interaction. You're no longer reacting, you're leading. And that subtle control will make her wonder what changed. If you'd ignored her completely, she could dismiss you. But your composure, that lingers. Here's the truth. She ghosted you expecting to be chased. When you don't chase, her reality collapses. At 30 days, she'll start noticing your silence and wonder why you haven't reached out. At 60 days, she'll see your progress, your body, your energy, your confidence, and start questioning her choice. And at 90 days, she'll begin missing you, not because she wants you back, but because she realizes she lost someone who never needed her. That's when silence becomes your loudest statement. The Stoics called it amor fati, to love your fate, even the painful parts. Her ghosting wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It wasn't the end of your story. It was the push you needed to become the man she'll always regret letting go. Number 5, if she comes back, the Stoic script for handling her return without losing your power. If she ghosted you and now she's back, it's not because she suddenly realized you're the one. It's usually because of one of 4 things. Sometimes it's the grass isn't greener effect. She tried moving on, maybe dated someone else or focused on herself, but discovered that no one measured up to the version of you she left behind. Research shows people often idealize past relationships when new ones fall short. Other times, it's the fear of loss, FOMO. She saw you thriving on social media, heard from mutual friends that you're doing better and thought, wait, is he really happier without me? That's cognitive dissonance kicking in. I ghosted him because I didn't care, but why do I care now? It might even be loneliness or boredom. She's not coming back for you. She's coming back for the comfort and validation you once provided. And sometimes it's pure ego. She just wants to know she still has power over you. Your mission is simple. Don't let her turn your growth into her ego boost. Before you respond, pause and ask yourself 2 questions. Is she reaching out because she genuinely regrets what she did, or because she's bored, lonely, or curious? And does reconnecting with her align with the man I've become, or is it a step backward? Seneca warned, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The moment you crave her attention, you've already lost your power. Let's look at 3 possible scenarios and how to deal with each. Number 1, the casual, "Hey stranger" text. She texts, "Hey, long time. How've you been?" If you're completely over her, keep it simple. "Hey, I've been great, been focused on myself and a few new projects. Hope you're doing well too." Then stop replying. If you're curious but cautious, "Hey, been good. What's new with you?" Keep it light, neutral, and let her reveal her intentions. Either way, you're polite but distant. You don't chase. You don't ask why she ghosted. You simply stay grounded in control. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The key is not to prioritize what's on your mind, but what's in your control. Number 2, the "I miss you" or "I made a mistake" message. If she says, "I miss you" or "I realize I made a mistake," don't reply immediately. Wait at least a day or two. This shows you're not living at her emotional command. When you do respond, acknowledge, but don't commit. I appreciate you saying that. Ghosting really hurt, but I've moved on. I hope you're in a better place now too. If you're open to reconnecting, add, "I'm not looking to revisit the past, but I'm open to catching up as friends." If boundaries are respected. If you're done, end it gracefully. "I wish you the best, but I'm focused on my own path now." She expects emotion. You give composure. That contrast shatters her expectations and exposes her intent. If she's genuine, she'll respect your space. If not, she'll fade again, and that tells you everything. Number 3, the "can we talk" or in-person ambush. If she asks to meet or accidentally runs into you, stay centered. Agree only if you want to, and choose a neutral public place. Keep the meeting short. When you see her look sharp, stay calm. Let her speak first. Listen, but don't get pulled into old emotions. If she starts explaining why she ghosted, simply say, "I've made peace with it. I'm more interested in where things stand now." Notice her tone. Does she take accountability or just make excuses? Does she ask about you or just talk about herself? When you've heard enough, end it on your terms. "I'm glad we talked. I'll think about this and let you know if I'm open to anything further." Then walk away. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason as today. Your calmness is your weapon. The hard truth, should you take her back? Ask yourself, has she earned her way back, or is this just nostalgia wearing a disguise? Are you drawn to her real self, or the fantasy of who she was? Does she add peace or chaos? If you give her another chance, do it slowly. Rebuild trust like a bank account, small deposits over time. Set non-negotiable boundaries. If you disappear again, we're done. If you decide not to, be firm and kind. I've grown a lot, and I don't think we're aligned anymore. I wish you the best. Then protect your peace, even if that means blocking her. Not out of anger, but out of strength. Here's the paradox. The best way to make her regret ghosting you is to be willing to lose her forever. If she senses your indifference, one of two things will happen. She'll either step up and meet your standard, or vanish again. Either way, you win. Epictetus said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Her return is outside your control. Your response, though, that's entirely yours. Number 6, the Phoenix Protocol, rising from the ashes to attract higher quality love and never settle again. This isn't just about moving on, it's about transmuting pain into power. Ghosting isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a revelation of her limitations. The real question isn't why she left, it's what will you do with the lesson she left behind. Research on post-traumatic growth shows that people who thrive after betrayal don't simply get over it, they rebuild stronger. This is your moment to rise, to become the kind of man who doesn't just recover from ghosting, but attracts the kind of love that would never disappear in the first place. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." That isn't philosophy, it's psychology. Write down what her ghosting revealed about your weaknesses. Maybe you realized you ignored red flags because you feared being alone. Then ask, how can I use this to become better? Maybe it's setting boundaries earlier or trusting actions over words. Each time you choose growth over bitterness, your brain rewires itself for resilience. Trauma becomes your training ground. Make a never again list, behaviors you'll never tolerate again. I won't chase someone who doesn't choose me clearly, then burn or bury it. A ritual of release, a declaration of rebirth. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So look around. Who drains your energy? Who pushes you to level up? Cut ties with energy vampires. Seek the risers, the people who pursue their goals relentlessly and hold themselves accountable. Join new circles that challenge you, a mastermind group, a fitness class, a creative community. When you surround yourself with people who demand excellence, you'll stop tolerating mediocrity from yourself or from anyone you date. Social proof is magnetic. When high-value people vouch for you, so will potential partners. A high-quality partner has 3 traits: emotional maturity, consistency, and respect for your time. They don't vanish when things get hard. They communicate. They show up. Pay attention to the early signs. During your first disagreement, do they shut down or talk it through? When you discuss plans, do they engage or dodge commitment? Do they match your effort or always wait for you to initiate? Remember, never love anyone who treats you like you're ordinary. The ultimate attraction hack is simple. Be the man who doesn't need a relationship, but chooses one. When you're fulfilled on your own, you radiate abundance. Travel, learn, create. Build a life so rich that a partner becomes a bonus, not a requirement. Practice Stoic dating. Ask yourself, would I be happy if this person stayed or left? If the answer is no, you're not ready. When you master self-sufficiency, the scarcity principle flips in your favor. You become the rare one, the one people chase, not because you're playing hard to get, but because your peace is priceless. Start thinking long-term. Ask yourself what kind of relationship you want 5 years from now, and what kind of person can build it with you. Write a vision statement. I'm with someone who communicates with honesty, respects my time, and shares my core values. Our love is a place of growth, not anxiety. Clarity attracts alignment. When you know what you want, red flags become impossible to ignore, and your time becomes too valuable to waste. The final truth: you were never the problem. Her ghosting was never about your value. It was about her fear of conflict, her lack of emotional maturity, her need to escape discomfort. But what is about you is how you responded, how you grew, and how you refused to let it define you. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." The Stoics would agree. Live so well that her ghosting becomes the best thing that ever happened to you. Date with intention, not desperation. And attract someone who would never dream of disappearing because they know they'd lose a man who has risen from the ashes. Thank you for watching. If this message hit home, share it with someone who needs it. Every time you pass wisdom forward, the world gets a little quieter and a little stronger.